It is that time again. It's time for the CHA Tournament Roundtable. We couldn't find a literal roundtable, so we have a square table here. Because we have literally some of the smartest student athletes in college hockey America surrounding us, we were able to contrive that. J.C. Gebhardt, Maggie Legue, Lexi Templeman, Emily Curlett. I am literally surrounded by women's college hockey royalty here, and it's been a great honor to cover them all over the course of the season. And I guess we'll just kind of start down on the end here with the Jaybird, who jammed her way to the scoring title in college hockey America, the third straight year that a Colonial has accomplished this feat. Of course, the last couple of years it was Britt. Just kind of going into this year, did you feel a lot of pressure to grab the torch from her and kind of run with it?
I don't think it was pressure. I kind of saw it as fun, kind of getting to step into that role, and I guess that's one of my favorite parts of hockey is being able to be a leader and contribute a lot. So I just saw it as fun, and I saw it as an opportunity.
And as you get later into the season, I mean, you go around the league once. Teams have seen you before. They're going to be gunning for you, obviously, because they know what you can do. What's the key to continuing to produce points and continuing to find ways to help your team and get on the score sheet?
I think just remain confident, even if it's a bad weekend or a bad game or something. But playing on a line with some of the best players in the college hockey America definitely helps with that. But I think it's just continuing to work hard and just kind of see what other teams give you at different points in the season.
You played with one of your best friends for so many years, Amber Rennie, who's also had a very nice career that she's going to be rounding out as a senior this year. What has that been like?
It's been pretty crazy. I think this is our 14th year on the same line.
I thought it was 13. It's 14.
Something like that.
Okay.
Somewhere around there. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and definitely wouldn't have had any success I've had without her. And definitely going to make the most of it this weekend and try to win another championship together.
Joining you on the first team all-conference team, noted offensive threat, noted defensive threat, noted NWHL draftee Maggie Legue. I can't help but think back to Christmas time when I got the notice that you were going to be picked by the NWHL. You thought I was playing a practical joke on you. I forgive you, by the way.
That's okay.
No. We're cool. No, but I mean, it's just. Do you remember what that was like? Just the feeling of that's a tremendous honor.
Yeah, no, it was kind of funny because I was sitting at work and got your email and asked you if this is real because I'd not heard anything about it, and even texted Coach to kind of get a little confirmation. But yeah, definitely a huge honor and something I wasn't expecting. So that just made it all the more special. And again, couldn't have accomplished anything without this team and the staff. So I mean, it's really cool experience.
And it was deserved because you really did have an extraordinary senior year, which hopefully won't be done yet. What do you think was the key to your success individually this year, just as a defender and as a tri-captain?
I think just, coming into the season and knowing that I'm a senior and just trying to have the best time and really just try to be consistent, because I think that's something I really try to focus on as my game, is to just be as consistent as I can. So just knowing my role, knowing what I can do, and try to push the limits a bit, but just also push my teammates to get better and just try to have as much success as possible by just having the best teammates around.
You were particularly exuberant, proud, et cetera, when the third regular season championship was clinched. And just based on that conversation we had after the game, I want to go back to that. Why are you particularly proud of this one? Not that you're not proud of the other two, obviously, but why was this one as special as you said it was?
I think just, with this team, we had, probably one of the hardest out-of-conference schedules all year. And so I think just going into CHAs, it was something that we worked really hard for, and I think we absolutely deserved it. And we've been playing some of our best hockey, so just winning that at home ice as well was really special, and just with a group that absolutely deserved it. It's just something I'll never forget.
And for those keeping score at home, the last championship of any kind that the women's program won on home ice was 2012, the first of the CHA tournament championships, where the big game, Brianna Delaney's big goal against Mercyhurst. So it had been forever. And championships on home are absolutely rare. When we talk to Curly, we're going to ask her about shot blocking, but we probably don't pump up your shot blocking prowess enough, because she was stay with me on this. Stay with me on this. She was the national leader. You were like right up there. You were seventh. You were eighth, actually, I believe, in the entire NCAA to close the regular season. How do you block a shot? Like, what is the key to shot blocking nirvana?
I think just not being scared of it. Like,
Okay.
it's for a good cause. So I think, goalies sometimes really help you out when you need it and bail you out. So I think that's kind of in the back of my mind too, like, tit for tat kind of thing. Like,
No, I know.
So I think just, knowing it doesn't hurt when you win. So that's something our coaches say a lot. So just keeping that in mind.
I couldn't have put it better myself. No, and the one game I point to in particular, and I'll bring in Curly in on this because she was out there as well. The first of the two games at Penn State, there was a particular power play in the second period that Penn State had, and it just struck me as they were playing very tentative hockey, and selfishly, I'd like to think it had something to do with the individuals who were out on the ice wearing the Robert Morris jerseys. So, I mean, it seems like when you can do that particular skill, when you can master that particular skill and do it exceptionally well, it seems like it makes other teams like second guess and just not make bad decisions with the puck and do all these other things. It seems like psychologically it gives you a lot of leverage over a lot of the teams that you guys have played this year.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely know that when we're playing another team, when they're in our lanes all the time, it makes you hesitate, and when you do get a lane, sometimes you're slow to recognize it because you're used to having them in your lane. So I definitely think that's something that's a really good skill to have for our team. And, it's not just a defenseman. A lot of times our forwards come up with some big blocks, especially the second half of the season. So I think that really deters their team from trying to get puck to the net when we're in the way.
And again, you were the national leader in block shots, and as a rookie, you were second, so you weren't that far behind as a rookie either. How do you do it?
I don't know. Sometimes I think I have a magnet for my face, but at the end of the day, I guess, like Maggie said, you just can't be afraid of it, and you gotta know that there's a purpose for blocking it. And sometimes I feel like for as many as I block, I miss that many too. But at the end of the day, it really is a huge contributing factor. So
There was a game when you were a rookie at Lindenwood where, again, it was a power play. They had a power play, and I swear to Jesus, you blocked 4 shots on the same shift. And you just, like, physically, you're hobbling, like, on your hands and knees. You look dead and I could see, Paul and Logan screaming at you, for heaven's sake, to get off the ice. And you continue to battle. You want to be out there. You're a warrior. And I don't know that you know that, but I want you to know that shows up on film. And I think these young women are all very appreciative of that.
well, thank you. I definitely think sometimes they scream at me to get off the ice for a good reason. But there are a lot of block shots that I remember being very special and specific, and I do remember that one. But like I said, it's not really possible unless I've got the confidence of the team around me. So I think that's very important for blocking shots, knowing they'll get the clear.
One thing that you and Maggie, another thing that you two have in common is your off-ice work and your involvement with various notable causes, especially this year. I know you're treasurer of Hope Happens Here, which, why don't we tell people what that is, just for those who don't know. What is Hope Happens Here?
It's just a student-athlete-based mental health focused organization. We just try and teach people, specifically student-athletes, how to manage their time, how to manage their stress, how to just be a mentally healthy person, and offering up the help that they need when they need it.
Yeah, and you do that, and you're a youth instructor. I know. Also, you're a teacher. You mold young minds, which is amazing. You're more successful at 19 or 20, whatever it is, than I ever dreamed of being at that age. What has that been like, getting that experience in college?
I've always loved coaching, and I got into it a lot more this summer when I was back home. And I definitely love helping out Robert Morris, especially because, it's the hometown and the kids just love being around any of them. So it's definitely amazing to be able to reach out and touch a lot of little Robert Morris players. Maybe one day they'll end up here too. So.
We hope so. The teddy bear toss week, by the way, couldn't have been more successful. Of course, he collected all those stuffed animals for the Autism Society of Pittsburgh. You won 2 hockey games. You swept Penn State, which obviously was a big thing going forward in terms of what the team was able to accomplish in the regular season. And then Mental Health Awareness Week against RIT ended up being another very pivotal, very important series for the team. You won 2 games there as well. What does it mean to you when, in a manner of speaking, a plan comes together to see the team do good things off the ice, just as they are doing good things on the ice?
I think it's been awesome to see what our team has been able to accomplish, from the teddy bear toss to the mental health awareness game, to even just things that we do outside of that as a team to help other people. So I think it's really cool that we use our student athlete kind of status for something good, both on and off the ice. Then to get the sweep in the process is something we really needed at the time, and has come in handy.
Okay, you can chuck those pucks. You're like, more accurately, your dad, Pete Curlett, is like the ringer who wins chuck a puck. I think every single weekend, with the exception of that one time your mom won it. And just like, where does, speaking of unique skills in the Curlett family, where does this one come from?
He's got his own little strategies going on, but I feel like it's his version of competition.
And you've won it a bunch of times at the men's games, by the way.
I don't know. I think that's just kind of luck of the draw, luck of the toss. I don't know. They're pretty competitive with each other, so it was good to uproot them every once in a while.
And it's a tough thing to pull off, taking him down in that. Another talented member of the sophomore class, Lexi Templeman, 5'2" on your roster, plays like she's twice that. Number 2 in the conference in assists. Number 1 in faceoff percentage, and very nearly number 1 in the country nationally in faceoff percentage. You flirted with around a 700 clip going into the postseason. So I guess I asked her about her shot blocking secrets. I got to ask you about your face-off secrets. There a little ESP going on there? Or?
Just kind of like going in with confidence and like knowing you can beat the other person, knowing what you want to do and set it up so that you're prepared to win. And I mean, if you lose, well then go get the puck back. But always being prepared and confident is kind of the strategy behind that.
Without question, one of the most fun photos I saw of the entire season came to us from Brian Mitchell, of course, Pittsburgh Hockey Digest. He covers most of our home games. Emily Harley set up the first goal in the second Mercyhurst game, which of course you scored. And we have, Mitch rather, had this great shot of literally the team's tallest forward and smallest forward, who has a great vertical, by the way, embracing, and it's awesome. So that's got to be a little bit of a trip for you to play with the 2 biggest forwards on the team.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, they're big, but I mean they're kind at heart. So I mean, playing with them is always fun. Playing with anyone is fun, and it was definitely a very cool picture that they got. And Harley said she was ready to catch me when I jumped, so she knew it was coming.
Nice.
I'd like to also point out that Justin Burrell had a really good photo of that as well.
Yes.
Just wanted to throw that out there.
Yes, and Justin, who is behind the camera, has had some of the best. Oh, there it is. There it is. Justin has had some of the best Juby shots, as he likes to call them, and just some of the best photography in general of our hockey team this year. So big kudos to Justin, who's behind the camera for us on this. There was no, as they say, sophomore slump for Lexi Templeman. Quite the opposite, actually. Second in the conference in points. I asked Jay, I guess I'll ask you, what was the key to your consistency this year, do you think? Just in terms of finding ways to get on the sheet.
I think like Jay said, it's just like being confident. I had great line mates to work with, kind of the same thing as her. So knowing that you have great people beside you that are going to help you get the job done definitely helps boost your confidence, and having the confidence to know that you can do it, it kind of all works out.
Speaking of that Mercyhurst series, just to sort of set the stage for what you guys were able to accomplish in clinching the regular season championship, just to kind of take people back. It's Mercyhurst week, and I know that you guys had come off a series that I know that you guys feel was not necessarily your finest hour, and there's a big rival coming in. It's a high stakes series for both teams, and first place is still on the line. Just what was the mood, the mentality of the team like at the time, and how are you guys able to pull together and ultimately rattle off a few wins in a row and get the title?
Yeah, well, to be honest, it's not really hard to get up and get hyped for a Mercyhurst game. As
I guess not.
They are our biggest rivals. So, I mean, coming off a tough series against Lindenwood, we knew we had to be better, and we knew we had to get the job done, and first place was on the line, and that's always our goal to start the season as regular season champs and hopefully CHA champs. So, I mean, knowing what was on the line, we had to come in hard and play the best games of our season so far.
We've tortured these poor souls long enough, so we're gonna get to the big finish here. We're gonna get to the CHA playoffs. We're gonna get to the CHA championship. What does the team need to do, and you can all answer this, to get that second CHA tournament championship in 3 years and go dancing, hopefully in a couple of weeks?
Oh, we're starting with me.
Why not?
I mean, I think the way that we've been playing the last month has been closer to what our actual true ability is, and I think that everyone's kind of been feeling that we're gelling more, as most teams do at the end of the season, and we're pretty excited for it. We knew this was our goal the whole time, and I think as long as we walk into it confident and composed and play as a team, that we'll be walking home with a couple cups, hopefully.
Lexi?
I think very similarly. I think if we come in here knowing we can do it, but also showing that we want it and proving that we are the best team, then we'll be successful.
The captain, or one of the captains, as it were.
I think just knowing the feeling last year of coming so close and not capturing it, and so I think just coming into the weekend, or the week for that matter, with that feeling in the back of our minds, and just using that to our advantage, and I think just enjoying it too. It's a really fun week, and I know we're all really looking forward to it.
CHA scoring champion JC Gebhardt, no worse for the wear, mind you. What do you think?
Yeah, I think just having confidence and knowing that we've kind of been playing playoff hockey for the past couple weeks anyways, and we know what it takes to win a championship, and I guess all of our upperclassmen have won a championship before, so we know the feeling, and we definitely want to get back there, and everyone's going to give all they got.
In the immortal words of my interpersonal communications professor from senior year, Mr. Evan Griffin, I love you all. Get out. Let's go, Bobby Moe.